All right, well, after 2 rounds of Ethan, it's time for someone new. And so our next speaker is Rafe Martin. He is the CRO squared of ComTech. That's the Chief Risk Officer and Chief Resilience Officer at ComTech. He helps manage cyber risk and enhance operational preparedness through effective cyber resilience and planning. In other words, he's trying to plan ahead so that you don't end up in trouble. With over 30 years of IT experience, he holds a certificate in artificial intelligence from MIT, certified in cybersecurity certification from ISC2, and a certified cyber resilience professional certification from DRI International. That is a lot of acronyms right in a row. He also told me last night, I'm a professional speaker. He's working on his speaking. He recently joined the NSA, not what you're thinking, the National Speakers Association. So he recently joined the NSA, but it does seem like he might be involved with NSA based on what I was reading here earlier. He's an in-demand speaker and host of ComTech's Ripple FX podcast. Is anybody listening to the podcast? Oh, that's why? He is the host of the soon-to-be-launched ComTech's Ripple FX podcast. If we could work on the notes next time, not throw me under the bus. Rafe shares insights, or he will share insights on emerging technology, cybersecurity, cyber resilience, and AI at conferences, on podcasts, and in webinars. This is interesting, though, whether it's creating harmony with his bluegrass band, that's interesting, experimenting with the culinary philosophy, I like this, that anything wrapped in bacon and put on the smoker is bound to be a masterpiece. Rafe enjoys life's varied flavors. He also cherishes spending time with his wife of 34 years and their family. Please welcome to the stage, Rafe Martin.
Well, hello. I guess you didn't expect me to walk up here holding a baby. And frankly, I didn't either. He belongs to my niece, Lindsay, who apparently is still in the bathroom. So I thought, hey, what fun. I'll take Jake up on stage to have him meet everyone. So guys, meet baby Jake. It's her 3rd child. No, I'm not a grandfather. But as a father of 3, I always felt like I had a gift for getting fussy babies to go to sleep. So I understand Jake's had quite a fussy morning. So I thought it'd be neat if you all help me get Jake to go off to sleep. He's almost there. So if we can all together just go shh, shh, shh. So I'll count to 3 and we can just do kind of a loud shh. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. I think it's working, but I need to give this baby to someone so I can get on with my presentation. Scotia, I see you out there. You're a friend of the family. Would you mind holding Jake so I can get on with talking about cybersecurity? And I'm sorry, I don't want to drop the baby off the stage. So.
How many times have I helped you do things?
Yeah.
This is one thing that you've
I think
never asked
you've.
me to do.
Yeah.
I have held you other babies, though.
All right, be careful. There you go. Everything okay?
Rafe, that is not a real baby.
Oh, what? Gotcha.
You bring me up on the stage for this.
Meet fake Jake. That is fake Jake, not baby Jake. Thank you, Scotia. Give it up for Scotia for being a good sport. You can take Jake back to the table. So what you all just experienced, as a group, you were just hacked. I used a tactic, this tactic called social engineering, which is a common hacker tactic. So I created a believable story. It's all about deception. Who had any doubt in their mind the baby was real? Oh, you all thought the baby was fake? Or wait, let me ask it differently. Who thought the baby was real? That's it? Okay, well, it worked on Scotia. So using deception, creating a believable story, and then playing on your emotions, because a lot of people, when I walk by, you could see their hearts melt a little bit when they saw the baby. And I know that it does that to me too. So using deception, emotion, and then convincing you to take action. That's social engineering. That's a tactic that hackers use, among others, that we're going to learn about today. So we're about to embark on a journey together to transform you into guardians of your IT universe. So think of this session as cybersecurity boot camp meets a crime drama. We'll start off with briefing you a bit on the cybercrime report, just a general state of cybercrime. And then we're going to look at the most common cyber villains. We'll profile each one, see how they operate, how they collect their information, how they target their victims. Then we'll have this moment of transformation in the middle where we're arming you with the tools you need, the mindset and things that you need in order to do battle with these guys and emerge victorious. So at the end, you'll all be the ultimate guardian of your cyber universe, which is the human firewall. Get excited. Anyone want to be a human firewall? Yes. I was going to pass out capes, but Hunter wouldn't let me buy capes. So. All right, quick overview of cybercrime. When we think of hackers, this is the image that we've all been conditioned to come to mind. It's the lone guy in the hoodie, probably in his parents' basement, pulling off petty little cyber crimes. The reality is it looks more like this now. Cybercrime is a big business. It's run like a Fortune 500 company. So you've got a C-suite up at the top. You've got different levels of management, different departments, all the way down to the contractor who's the guy in the hoodie now. So how big is this business? I think Mike shared some of this earlier, but it's worth repeating. The average ransomware payout in 2013 was $1.5 million. That's just the ransom payment. When you look at all the costs associated with a ransomware attack or a data breach, $4.5 million is what I like to round that up to. So that includes paying the ransom, paying for remediation to put things back together. You may have who's subject to some sort of compliance in here, right? So you may have regulatory fines and fees, data forensics. A big one people don't think about a lot is loss of revenue. So when you factor all those together, it's about a $4.5 million event. Worldwide, $9.5 trillion. I think Mike shared the same number. I have a little bit bigger number though. In 2028, it's going to be almost $14 trillion industry. So it is a business, and like most businesses, there's a business plan, there's a framework to follow. So this is the cyber kill chain. It just sounds scary. This is the framework the bad guys follow when they're going to pull off an attack. So we'll be seeing some of this throughout the presentation, but I just want to review this with you. And for this example, we'll pretend we're the hacker and we're going to launch a spear phishing email attack on someone. So the first phase is the recon phase. This is where they're gathering information. If I'm going to attack Tom, I'm going to go out there and find everything I can find out about Tom, what he likes, who his friends are on Facebook, family members. I'm just gathering intel. So that's the recon phase. Then I'm going to take that information and weaponize it. And what that means is that story, like me walking up with the baby, I'm going to craft some compelling, convincing story and put that in the form of probably an email. And then delivery is me actually sending the email into Tom and it lands in his box. Exploit is when Tom clicks on it and then that leads to installation. So the installation means the bad guys have installed their malware on the network. They've established what's called a command and control presence where they've got eyes and ears now and they can move freely around in the network while they take their time to determine what's the best way to maximize this attack. So whatever that action is what they're going to take. It could be just theft of data, ransomware, we hear that a lot, but they could just be in for the credit card numbers. Other tools the bad guys have. Ethan just talked a lot about AI. Generative AI, well, guess what? The bad guys have it too. So that document that we're forming to be compelling to get Tom to click on it, you can use ChatGPT or other AI tools. You can also use an AI bot to go collect the information. So you're not manually looking through all of his social media profiles. You just stick the bot on him and it'll go out and create a profile for Tom for us. So it's helping make them efficiency. And then they can actually use AI to develop malware. One of the big uses of AI when it first launched was for software developers, using it to write code. Well, there's something now called poisoned AI where the hackers have poisoned those generative AI models that generate code so that they're spitting out code that has exploits in it the day it's launched. And these programmers aren't even aware of it because they're just trusting the AI to spit out good software. We'll talk about the dark web for a moment. Any pawn shop owners in here? I don't want to offend anyone. But I was thinking yesterday, the dark web is like the online pawn shop. Because, I mean, I don't frequent pawn shops a lot, but I've been in some. There's stuff in there that, was probably stolen and brought to a pawn shop to sell. Anytime there's a car break-in or something, you think, yeah, they're going to take that down the road and pawn it. You can also walk in the pawn shop and buy weapons. Dark web, to me, I'm drawing a parallel, though, because data breaches, a lot of times when they're in and they're stealing your data, they just intend to go sell it on the dark web. That's it. They're not going to use it to try to pull off attacks. You can also get on the dark web and buy ready-made viruses, other tools to cause trouble. So it's the cybercrime marketplace, and it's the source of illegal goods and services. Sorry, I'm losing my ear here. So anyway, it's where the cyber criminals go to buy, sell, trade, and it's their virtual marketplace is the best way to think of it. So learning more about our enemy, we're going to dive into the most wanted list here. So these are some profiles of the common types of hackers out there. We're going to go through each one and have a little story time with each one and learn how they work, how they prey on people, and what makes them tick. By the way, I made all these images in Leonardo.ai. I don't know if you mentioned that, but we're going to start with our first villain, the social engineer. Much like me walking up with the baby, this is kind of how this guy operates. So he's really good at surveillance, impersonation, and creating a sense of urgency to manipulate people. His target is Busy Becky. Look at this poor girl. I mean, she's got a wall of Post-it notes. She's sitting probably 5 computers around her. She's an HR manager at People First Solutions. Her weaknesses are she's very busy and distracted, as you can tell by looking at her. She tends to trust people without verifying, and she's a cybersecurity denier. What is the cybersecurity denier? It's someone that thinks they're not a target. Oh, we're not a target. We're too small. No one cares about us. We just have 10 employees, or we just whatever, making excuses. But she doesn't think she's a target. So if you remember that first phase of the cyber kill chain's recon. So the recon results on her are, even though she's busy, she makes time to get out on LinkedIn and post things. So she's frequently posting about all the challenges she has with HR processes, payroll, things like that. We were able to confirm her position on the company website. We know who her coworkers are. But she made a recent post about switching to ADP for payroll. So this is the golden nugget for the hacker, because that's the one he's going to take action on. So the method of attack is just going to make a phone call posing as the new payroll provider and hope for the best. So that phone call might sound something like this. Hey, Becky. This is Ralph from ADP. We're so excited you're coming on board, and I know we're about to run your first payroll. I had a little pushback on the ACH information you submitted, so I was wondering if you could just verify your routing number and account number for me while I've got you. Her being busy and distracted, you can hear the paper shuffling. She gets the checkbook out, and she goes, yeah, here, I'm glad to give you that. She reads them, routing number, account number. Social engineer, his attack on busy Becky is successful. They withdraw money, they disappear in the night, and then Becky's left wondering what happened. Our next villain, the manipulator. You'll see a theme here. They play on urgency and human emotion. Her target is gullible Greg. I made this image in Leonardo. He looks so pitiful, I almost feel sorry for him looking at the picture, but does it look gullible? So gullible Greg, the recon we've got on him, he's brand new to the company. You could tell by looking at him, he's a people pleaser. He's just eager to get out there and please. He's so new, he's not even on the staff directory on the website. So that the manipulator just did a search online for posts from the company and learned that the CEO was posting that he's out of town at a conference and how he's the speaker coming up and he's all excited about his presentation. And that's going to be the nugget that the manipulator uses to attack poor old gullible Greg here. So she's going to send an email posing as the CEO and ask for Greg's login. So that email might sound something like this. Greg, this is your boss. I'm at the conference. I'm having an issue with my account. I can't even use my work email. I'm sending you a message from my personal Gmail account. I can't get to the presentation. Just give me your login because I don't have time to deal with IT to get this fixed. Gullible Greg, being the people pleaser, verifies nothing. He replies with his login credentials. Now the manipulator has access to Greg's account, so can do things as Greg, get into the network as Greg with his permission. So manipulator, attack successful. Our next villain, the impersonator. That's a scary picture. His powers are spear phishing and doing social media recon and then crafting really compelling phishing emails through the use of AI, and he's just a gifted criminal here. His target is Careless Carla. She's an office manager at Skyline Ventures. She's also a cybersecurity denier. Thinks we're not a target. We're so small, no one pays attention to us. She's easily distracted, and she's one of these people like, I don't have time for details, just give me a big picture, and because I've got things to do. The recon on Carla, again, LinkedIn here, and I'm not saying don't post on LinkedIn, so don't take that the wrong way, but LinkedIn was checked for company post, and they find that Carla just posted a photo of their brand new office furniture and tags their vendor for doing such a great job. She mentions, Brett at the company was her contact. He's so wonderful. I guess he probably asked her to make a post. And website confirms that Carla is the office manager. So the impersonator is going to formulate his attack based on those nuggets. So his plan is craft a compelling email, sending in malware as an attachment, posing as the billing contact, sending a fake invoice. So that email may sound something like, Carla, we're so glad to do your furniture. We appreciate the post and the shout out on LinkedIn. Here's the invoice. The invoice is infected. She clicks it because she's curious. She may think, I already paid the invoice. Or maybe this is the first time she's heard invoice. Either way, the curiosity gets her. She clicks it. The impersonator, successful. Hopefully you hear a theme here, phishing emails. So 91% of all attacks begin with phishing emails. 1 in 5 employees is going to click on a phishing email. So picture yourself and 4 of your closest coworkers. One of you is going to be the one that clicks on a phishing email. And you're probably sitting there going, yeah, I know exactly who that person is going to be. So they're counting on the numbers. Villain profile next is the puppet master. So this guy, his powers are he exploits Internet of Things devices. So IoT devices, and it might be a new term for you, but it's things like your Nest thermostat. It's the smart thermometer in the aquarium. It could be your smart lights that are sitting on your network. It's any of these devices that ride on your network and provide these various functions. The puppet master's target, Oblivious Owen. He's the facility manager at Green Tech Solutions. His weaknesses are he tends to trust the smart devices. He's also a cybersecurity denier. We're not a target. And he likes to do things without involving IT. He's kind of a lone ranger here. So one of his faults is he does not change the default device password when he puts these things out there on the internet. Anyone heard, you may have heard this last time, it's the story about the casino that was hacked a while back through their smart thermometer in the giant aquarium. Apparently they didn't change the password on it, and hackers were able to scan and find this device in the aquarium and get into the network and pull off a big cyber heist. So Greg's kind of in the same, or Owen is in the same boat here. So Puppet Master's just going to do a scan, and he scans the network from outside, finds several devices on the network that oblivious Owen did not secure, and he was able to get a foothold in the network and then do damage from there. The Shadow Syndicate. This is the big crime syndicate group. Their powers, ransomware. Ransomware is a service also, which might be a new concept for some people. Ransomware as a service is when freelancers can align themselves with the big cybercrime syndicate, and their job is to write those compelling phishing emails, find their targets, get those delivered, and just get them to click. Once the target clicks, the freelancer's out of the picture. They move on to the next victim. At that point, the crime syndicate takes over, so they deal with all the other steps involved in a ransomware attack, planning the code, finding the data, encrypting it, putting the message on the screen, negotiating with them to collect the ransom. So that's ransomware as a service. They're going to target Distracted Dave. Dave's the sales manager at Next Gen Innovations. His weaknesses, as you can tell in the picture, they're moving. So he's got this move going on and deadlines, and he's also another cybersecurity denier. The recon on this guy, Shadow Syndicates just sent a mass email blast into the company, just kind of fishing for data. What they got returned from Dave was an autoresponder that said, please be patient with us during our office move. So there's a nugget. We know he's overwhelmed and busy with an office move. Company website shows testimonials from some of their best clients. List the client name and contact. What are the odds that some of those are Dave's actual clients? Pretty high. So the method of attack here, the Shadow Syndicate's going to send an email attack, ransomware, disguised as an urgent RFP. Who's in sales in the room? You get an RFP, you're pretty quick to click on it, right? You can't wait to see what it is. So that's how they're going to attack them. So they send that email in, and it probably sounds something like this. Hey, this is, Acme Explosives, one of your best clients. We've got an urgent need. Here's an RFP. How soon can you get me a price back? Distracted Dave falls for it, clicks it, launches ransomware. So attack successful there. This one's an honorable mention. This is deepfake DEP. So again, AI-generated image using Leonardo for this one. But their superpowers are AI deepfakes. And deepfakes, just to define the term, it's when you use AI to impersonate people. And it started out with images, just a still photo of someone like these. And then it moved into voice, so you can record someone's voice or get a recording of their voice online. Maybe they made a YouTube video or a Facebook post. You just need a few seconds of their voice to then give it scripts, and the AI will talk and sound like them. Then it moved to videos, which were pretty scary, but the latest was a live Zoom meeting with an AI deepfake. So imagine the CFO calls a group of direct reports to a Zoom meeting and conducts an hour-long Zoom meeting, having people go off and do these transactions. The meeting's over. The scammer left the call $25 million richer. What surprised me about the whole thing is his direct reports couldn't recognize that wasn't him. So where does that leave us? It's a rhetorical question, but pick up the phone. make sure that that's the person you're dealing with. And it's not a widespread thing now, but it is out there and it has happened already. So, all right, enough gloom and doom, right? Those are all victims that were not guardians of their IT galaxy like you guys are going to be here in just a moment. So let's look at our weapons as guardians together. So our arsenal, your arsenal in protecting your business. Artificial intelligence. We have it too. Bad guys have it. We have it. It's part of some of the cybersecurity tools that we use. It's used to help defend you better through things like identifying vulnerabilities as they come in, detecting anomalies on the network, the ability to analyze data and recognize patterns, which AI is big about pattern recognition. And it improves our capabilities to respond automatically, because that's very important when it comes to cybersecurity. The faster you can respond, the more you can minimize damage. So AI tools are built into some of the tools we're using at ComTech.